In this video, we are talking about whether a DBA is a good substitute for a registered trademark. Hey everybody, my name is Marcella Dominguez, and yes, I am coming to you from this kitchen renovation. If you haven't watched this video and you want to know what I'm doing here, make sure to check it out. But I will tell you at the end of this video how it's coming along, just in case you want an update. But in this video, we are talking about whether a DBA is a good substitute for a registered trademark. You see, there's so much confusion about what a trademark does, what it actually is, and when you actually need one. So if you want the very basics of what a trademark is, make sure to catch that video right there. But a trademark protects a business name, a slogan, a logo, or a tagline. So if you have any of those, then you want to protect it with a trademark, and a DBA is not a good substitute for a trademark, and I'm going to tell you why. A DBA is an excellent way to signal to your local authorities that you have a business name that is in use. So if, for example, I have a shoe shining company and I am naming it XYZ, so I would go online, and for me, this is what the county website looks like. So wherever you live, you need to make sure that you visit the county website where you register businesses. So you're basically telling the local authorities, hey, I am using XYZ shoes, and this is the business that I'm using here. Now, here is where people think that it is a substitute, but it's actually not. So when you plug in XYZ shoes, you will get an error usually, or some kind of red flag notice that will tell you, oh, you can't use XYZ shoes because somebody else is already using XYZ shoes, or somebody else is using XY shoes, or somebody else is using X shoes. So it's too close to what somebody else has. So we're not going to allow you to register XYZ shoes. I think that's where people confuse it with a trademark and say, well, that's exactly what happens when you register a trademark. But if I'm able to secure the DBA, then that must mean that I got it accepted because no one else out there has it. But no. You see, the county website is not the only tool that is important for trademark purposes. So in my example, the county website would just be one of the many resources that you should check if you wanted to register a trademark. So if you wanted to register a trademark, then it would be important to find out what's happening at the county level. Is somebody in my county already using that name? If they are already using something similar, then that is very important information for registering with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. But does it mean that because I've secured it with the DBA in my county, that there has been a statewide search, that there has been a nationwide search? What about people who have not even registered the name but have a Facebook page or have an Instagram page with that name, but they're not in your county and they're not even registered with the state or with any authority? So you catch my drift. There's a lot of other places that need to be checked in order to secure a trademark and make sure that no one else in the nation is using it. Because that's what I do, is I am a trademark lawyer, and I help people protect their trademarks on a nationwide basis here in the US. So yes, it's going to be important that you make sure nobody is using XYZ shoes, not in your city, not in your state, and not at the federal level. But I think that when people register their DBA, they're like, great, I know nobody else is using it. And it's like, no. You only know that nobody has registered that name in your county. But somebody else could be using that name in your county and not have registered a DBA. But more importantly, somebody could be using it on a nationwide basis if they sell shoe shine products and they deliver to people all over the US and all over the world. And it's also called XYZ shoes. Maybe it's called XYZ shoe shining. Should you care, as somebody who just registered XYZ shoes as a DBA? Would you care about somebody who's using XYZ shoe shining on a nationwide basis? Well, if you're just starting out, maybe you don't care. But I am telling you that this is where it becomes a problem when you don't start off on a strong foundation and you assume that a DBA is going to replace a trademark. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. is I'm so excited about XYZ shoe shining. I'm going to grow it. I'm going to make my Instagram page. I'm going to make my Facebook page. It's going to be so amazing. And then eventually I will branch out and I will sell shoe shining products for leather shoes, for patent shoes, for all sorts of shoes. I'm going to ship these products nationwide, even worldwide. And then once I want to register it as a trademark because I've become so big, now I'm going to run into this issue of, oh, wait, Marcella did say that there's a possibility that somebody else is using XY shoe shining over in California. I do remember Marcella said that XY shoes exist down in Arkansas. I do remember Marcella said that. Well, this is where it becomes a problem because you want to dominate for XYZ shoes, but somebody else is using some derivative of it in some other geographic location. So now you can't necessarily dominate. And in that case, you might actually be prohibited from selling in the location where these other similar names exist. So XYZ shoes might not be able to sell where XYZ shoe shining sells. You might not be able to sell in California. You might not be able to sell in Arkansas because they started using it before you and they have common law rights. So I know this starts getting kind of complicated. Now you're asking yourself, what in the world are common law trademark rights? You didn't say that in the beginning of the video where we're going to be talking about common law trademark rights. Here are common law trademark rights in this video. I don't want you to get confused. I want to keep them separate. So catch that video right there if you have questions about what that is. But needless to say, it is so important to not think that you're getting a DBA and that is a substitute for a trademark, because it is not. A trademark holds federal protection if you do it with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and a DBA holds zero protection. A DBA does not have any protection at all, actually. Like I said, if you wanted a translation for what a DBA is, a DBA simply informs local authorities and your consumers in your county that that is the name you are operating under. That's it. That you are now operating under this name. That's it. It doesn't even speak to an LLC. It doesn't speak to what protections you're offered because the DBA offers zero protections. It offers zero protection of your business name. It offers zero protection against liability. You wouldn't be able to defend yourself with the United States Patent and Trademark Office and say, hey, but I've had this DBA for a long time. What are the risks associated with using a name that you've registered as a DBA, but not as a trademark? Like I said, let's say somebody else in Arkansas was already using the name, and maybe they already filed a trademark. Then you're going to have to deal with them when you want your registered trademark. And if they have not filed a registered trademark, then you might receive either an opposition from them when you try to register yours. You might receive a cancellation. You might receive a phone call or an email from their lawyer beforehand letting you know, hey, this isn't a good idea because my client has already been using this name. Then you're going to have to think about what this is going to cost you. In other words, do you want to change your name? Do you want to rebrand? Or do you want to offer them a lump sum to buy their name? What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to operate under that name and take a huge financial risk that they might send you a cease and desist letter and then hit you with a trademark infringement lawsuit? It starts to feel complicated, right? And so right now that might be hard to wrap your head around because you're like, Marcella, but I just registered as a DBA. But I just want you to think into the future. I mean, that's what my job is as a lawyer, right? Is to help you foresee a potential problem and avoid a disaster. And I do that with trademarks, and I'm doing it with the DBA just to make you aware that it is not the same thing. They are not interchangeable. Don't say, oh, I have a DBA. Oh, I meant a trademark. Or, oh, I have a trademark. I mean a DBA. No. A trademark through the USPTO offers federal protection against anyone using that name or a similar name. Having a DBA does none of that, really. So if this video was helpful and you still want more clarity on common law rights or on what a DBA is doing business as, then make sure to catch that video right there. But I really hope this was helpful and this clarified some questions for you all, because I don't ever want you to think that one is the substitute for the other, because they're not. And by the way, if you're interested in seeing which tile we ended up going with and what this final renovation is going to look like, then make sure to hit subscribe because I will be sharing the final look with you guys. If you want to see what it looked like before, then make sure to check out that video right there. This is an exciting art project for me because instead of painting on canvas or using colored pencils or crayons or markers. This is the first time that this is the second time that I design and plan a kitchen. And so I am really excited about potentially doing this again and again for other customers, but I want your opinion first. Which tile should we choose from back there? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Bye.